Hello and welcome back to the lesson. Today we're going to study authority, power, and influence in the context of public administration. Now, administrative theory candidates encompasses various concepts and frameworks that guide the effective functioning of organizations. And among such concepts are authority, power, and influence, which are central to understanding how decisions are made, to understand how decisions are implemented. In this lesson, we just do an overview of authority, power, and influence. So by the end of this lesson, should be able to explain the meaning of authority, power, and influence. We begin with authority. What is authority? Authority refers to the legitimate right to make decisions, legitimate right to issue orders, and also to allocate resources within an organization. Authority, I repeat, refers to the legitimate right to make decisions. Legitimate right refers to the right to make decisions, the right to issue orders, and the right to allocate resources. So if there is one person in an organization who makes decisions or issues orders or allocates resources, then that person can be said to be having authority. And it is conferred by a formal position. It is done what? It is conferred on a formal position. For example, an accountant may have the legitimate right to spend money within an organization. Okay? That's an example. A human resource manager may have the legitimate right or the authority to advertise for a vacancy in an organization. A procurement officer may have the authority in an organization to purchase items within an organization. So authority is conferred on a formal position. I've given an example of a position of an accountant, a position of a procurement officer, and a position of a human resource manager. And there are different types of authority. For example, we have the traditional authority, we have the charismatic authority, there is the rational or legal authority, and so on. So what is the importance of authority in administration? Importance of authority in administration. One is decision making. Decision making. Authority ensures that decisions are made and enforced and that are enforced in a structured manner. Authority helps people understand how decisions are made. Authority ensures that decisions are predictable. And it ensures that decisions are made and enforced in a structured and in a predictable manner. The second reason why authority is important is in relation to coordination. Coordination. Authority facilitates coordination by clearly defining who has the right to make specific decisions. For example, in an organization, we may have an accountant, we may have a human resource manager, we may have another position. So each and every formal position has its own level of authority, and that makes it easy to coordinate the efforts and the decisions that are made by different authorities within an organization. Accountability. Number 3, accountability. Accountability. Authority establishes a clear line of accountability as individuals in positions of authority are responsible for their decisions, because it is known who makes the purchases, who hires, who tenders. So that makes it easy to hold individuals accountable for their decisions, such that if an accountant spent money in purchasing items that were not meant to be spent, then such an accountant can be held accountable. That decision cannot, the accountability may not be expected from a different position. So it helps members of an organization to be accountable. Accountability. The second concept, power. Power. We have defined authority as the right to make decisions, issue orders, and allocate resources. How about power? Now, power, on the other hand, is the ability to influence or control the behavior of others. Power is the ability to influence, the ability to influence or control the behavior of others. Power is the ability to influence or control the behavior of others, and power may go beyond the confines of authority. It is exercised through various means and can come from different sources, like legitimate power is a source which is derived from formal position or a role within an organization. Another source of power is reward power, which is based on the ability to provide rewards and incentives to others. If one has the ability to provide incentives, then such a person can influence or control the behavior of others, because people are motivated by incentives. Another source of power is coercive power. Now, based on the ability to punish or to provide rewards, or based on the ability to punish or let me say to punish or impose negative consequences, based on that, to that extent, individuals can be seen as being powerful. If an individual can punish, if an individual can impose negative consequences, then that is what we are referring to as coercive power. Another source of power is referent power, which is based on personal traits or relationships that inspire loyalty, that inspire admiration, and so on. So those are 4 sources of power. In fact, 5. Legitimate power, reward power, coercive power, expert power. We may also have reverent power. Now, expert power is derived from possessing specialized knowledge or expertise. A person who has expert power is one who has knowledge that others do not have. If you have knowledge that others do not have, then you have expert power, and that is a source of power. So power is the ability to influence or control the behavior of others. An expert can control the behavior of others. An expert can influence the behavior of others. So power is the ability to influence or to control the behavior of others. You understand? Yes, you do. So what is the importance of power in the context of public administration. Importance of power. One is influence and control. Influence and control. Influence and control. Power enables leaders to influence the actions and attitudes of subordinates. Power helps the supervisors to influence and control subordinates. Power, the ability to influence. Two, conflict resolution. Effective use of power can help resolve conflicts and maintain harmony within an organization. It is important in conflict resolution. Three, motivation. Motivation. Now, different forms of power can be used to motivate. They can be used to enhance productivity and so on. Employees can be motivated through different forms of power, like expert power. Expert can motivate employees. Coercive power can also motivate when you know that you may be punished for your actions by your superior, then that can motivate you to work towards excellence. So these are three reasons why power is important in the context of public administration. The last aspect, influence. Influence is the third concept we are going to learn in today's lesson. Influence. What is influence? Now, influence is the ability to affect the behavior of others. Influence is the ability to affect the behavior, to affect the attitudes and opinions of others. It is the ability to affect the attitudes, opinions. It is the ability to affect the attitudes, the ability to affect the actions, the ability to affect the behavior of others and behavior of others. If a person can influence your attitude, if a person can affect your opinion, if a person can make you change your behavior, then such a person has influence over you. And it often involves persuasion. Influence involves negotiation. It involves building relationships and so on. So influence is the ability to affect the attitudes, the behavior, and opinions of others. And I've said there are various techniques that can be used to influence others. Techniques. Persuasion. One, persuasion. One can affect your attitude, opinions, or behavior through persuasion. That means using logical arguments, using facts, and emotional appeals to convince others. Another technique is negotiation. Negotiation is a technique that can be used to affect the attitudes, opinions, and behavior of others. Negotiation. Engaging, that means engaging in dialogue to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Negotiation can affect attitudes, opinions, and behavior of others. Then building alliances. Building alliances. That is to say, forming coalitions, forming partnerships, forming networks in order to strengthen one's position and also to achieve objectives. So these are three techniques that one can use to influence the attitudes, opinions, and behavior of others. So that is the end of the lesson. We have briefly discussed three important concepts in public administration: authority, power, and influence. Authority, power, and influence. Assignment 1. Differentiate between the concepts of authority, power, and influence in public administration. How are they exercised, and what are the sources of each? 2. Discuss the challenges faced by public administrators in balancing their professional expertise with political considerations. How can they navigate these tensions effectively? 3. What are the different leadership styles observed in public administration? Which styles are most effective in different contexts and why? 4. Explain the concept of organizational culture in public agencies. Explain, I repeat, the concept of organizational culture in public agencies. How does it influence the behavior and decision-making of public servants? Thank you for attending the lesson. In our next session, we are going to study the relationship between public administration and politics. Bye.